Hello, Happy New Year. Cheers. I'm drinking a Poca Cappuccino. This drink, I can't decide if I like it or not yet. It always gives me like a tingle when I drink it. Not sure if that's good or bad. I am very lactose intolerant, so this is kind of already giving me issues. That's okay. My new year officially starts tomorrow on the 5th because I decided that that's how I was going to do it this year. I kind of always set myself up for failure with the new year by trying to kick off every single thing that I want to accomplish January 1. And I've come to realize that that cannot keep happening because I am somebody who gets like hits of dopamine every time that I accomplish something. And when I start kind of like flopping very bad, that floppage kind of just carries on because in my mind I can't understand how I'm going to come back from floppage. That's a whole other kit and caboodle. Like, that's bad. But anyways, I hope your new year is fine and great and awesome, and I hope you're also having a nice beverage and that yours doesn't give you like weird tingles, and that if it does give you tingles, it's good. And thanks for joining me again on my continued search for employment. I am kind of going through a weird roller coaster of emotions with not having a job because a lot of my life has, I think, been pretty tied to productivity and work, and my self-worth depends on the productivity and the work that I'm putting out. That weird relationship between my productivity and self-worth can no longer be. That is a really big goal for me this year, to just kind of really get to know myself, and I did talk about this last video, which you should watch. So anyways, today what I'm doing is actually writing stuff down into my journal of the like listing the jobs that I can apply for and where I found them, because girls, I've only applied to 2 jobs. One I already got turned down for. If you saw my last video, you noticed that I talked about how the one job I had applied for at the time removed the posting like the next big business day. And I think I was correct in assuming that they had taken it down, because when I put my application in, they're like, oh shit, like that's already been filled. That's okay. That's fine. They informed me that they went with another candidate. Great. Not great. I laughed because I kind of saw it coming, but I was very sad. And then I applied for a retail job because, you know, money's money, and in this economy, we can take any money we can get. But today, I am trying to find the jobs that I can apply for and hopefully apply to 3 by the end of the night, by 11:59. And I am really trying to let go of control. I am somebody who cannot for the life of them freaking like, I can't let things go. I can't let things be. I kind of never thought I was a control freak, but I am. I even realized I'm having a really hard time recording with my back camera. I feel like uncomfortable. I don't even know what the word is. I feel like perceived, I guess, and I've been noticing that I don't like to be perceived. I like to avoid any negative emotion. So either I just don't try things that can put me in that situation, or I immediately am looking for the exit door so I can leave. And that's not good. Like, obviously there's situations where it's like, oh, this is bad, I need to go. That's different. No, for me, I realize like anything that can potentially bring me embarrassment, pain, shame, grief, I completely avoid it. Don't like talking about it, don't like experiencing them. And I like to be very in control of everything. Crazy how I'm starting to get these revelations after being, I would say this is kind of like a low point in my life. I have since then had a breakdown and kind of just, I'm really trying to reframe it. I saw this, I can't remember the creator's name off the top of my head, but she's like doing stoicism, but make it cute. And there is one of them that was like, she gives these little cute presentations, and I'll put it on the screen because I thought I really liked that reel. But in that reel, she says something along the lines of like, and yet here we are, right? Like I am somebody who has a really hard time grasping the fact that everything I've ever done has had a consequence, and I am either living that consequence or have lived the consequence, and I can't go back and undo it. I cannot go back in time and undo anything ever. It can't change the past. It's basically like here and then forward. I can't. I don't know what it is. And it just puts me in such a paralysis all the time, and I can't seem to get out of this loop. She brought up the phrase, and yet here we are, right? Like, for me, it's like, well, I was even having this thought of like, man, I should have just given up the promotion and kept my job, and then I wouldn't be worried about money moving forward. I can't do that. I can't do that now. I have to move on, right? I can't always be trying, like, what kind of person am I to not even be able to face the consequences of my actions, whether positive or negative, right? I'm very like uncomfortable with myself. I've been very uncomfortable with myself for the last, probably for my whole life, but it's just now coming to fruition and coming to head that, like, what kind of person am I if I can't even say, this is what I chose and this is what's going on, and despite everything, here we are. What now? And reframing that and just listening to that reel, and sometimes this is why I love social media. Man, I'm someone who like looks at stoicism stuff, and a lot of times I'm like, so like I can't have any emotion, or like what, like I can never, just very like misconceptions of what it is. I still don't really know what it is, but just that reel alone kind of led me to like, oh, let's put a pin in that and like maybe come back to that and see if that's like a way of thinking that I can adopt and move forward with. But saying, kind of sitting down with it and saying, all of this has happened. Why am I about to cry? Ignore me. All this has happened, and I wish I could go back in time and tell myself to, study something else, do something else, maybe push my degree back so that I can really think about if this is what I want to complete it in. But I can't do any of that. And here we are. This is a reality. You can't just avoid reality all the time. No amount of idealizing in your brain and escaping to some crazy other universe that I have in my head is going to do anything about that. If anything, it's going to compound the problem by ignoring it daily. And the next thing you know, it's the end of the day and I'm still sitting on the couch, not doing anything, right? So I don't know. That really, really changed my perspective, and I'm really trying to remember that. Like, okay, that happened. I can feel really sad about it, and I can feel like I'm grieving a kind of a part of my professional life, because I really do take pride in work. I like working. I am not someone who I like having time off and enjoy my time off, but I do like structure. I do like having somewhere to be. I do like working with other people. So I'm just kind of like grieving this because I think I've put so much effort into maintaining that I have not ever really maintained or looked inward and been like, who are you without all that? But we already talked kind of about that last time I posted, so I'm not going to go talk into all that. But yeah, since that video, I think I was very elated. I was kind of more so on the high end of like, I'm free. Yeah, that was me. And then afterwards, it was kind of like, okay, hold on. This is good in the sense that this job is no longer causing you anxiety. But like, what are you going to do now? And that what are you going to do now sent me into a spiral. I was like sobbing my eyes out. I was like, I can't, how do I turn back time? Like, this is the only thing I have to do. Like, I need to turn back time I need to go redo my life, and like I can't fathom dying because now I'm like, my whole life has been a waste. I was going nuts. And now here we are. It's the 4th of January. I am okay-er. I am, again, like I said, I'm looking at jobs. I'm going to look for the ones that I'm most, I think, qualified for and apply for those. But I also think I'm just going to apply for ones that I think I would enjoy, but not exactly fully qualified for. And maybe write, the cover letters to reflect that I would like to work here despite my lack of experience in some of these fields, and, kind of see what happens from there. I guess it's kind of like a trial and error. Thanks for listening to all that about that. But yeah, if you're somebody who is struggling with all that kind of stuff, I would strongly suggest really and saying it out loud is different, because I consumed that reel and I've just been thinking about it. But even saying it right now, all this shit's happened, and yeah, here we are. What now? What are we doing now to move forward and to just take the situation for what it is? Don't add anything else, just what happened. Acknowledge that you're here and take a second to really reflect and pivot. And I think I skipped the reflection part. I am not reflecting. Well, I'm trying to now, but I wasn't reflecting. I just simply dropped one thing and let's pivot. Let's pivot, and let's stay busy so that you don't have to think about anything. And I've noticed that before in the past, but this time I think it's a little bit different, because I'm very tired of dropping and pivoting, because I end up in the same place. It seems like I end up in the same place. I end up doing the same exact thing that got me to the place I was at that I didn't want to be at. And I'm very tired of that. So I'm trying to just kind of talk my way through it, because that's what I do best. I talk a lot. I love to talk, and I think that sometimes I just need to get it out of my system to really get it into my brain and not forcefully subject everybody around me to hear everything, because if you're here, it means you clicked on it and you're staying this far voluntarily, right? So it's different when it's a voluntary thing. And if anything else, if nobody ever watches these, it's still very therapeutic for me to just speak. I am somebody who I need to talk to be able to make some sort of something out of the mess that kind of goes on in my head. So anyways, this is happening again. I really can't multitask. Sometimes I feel horrible applying to these, or thinking that I want to apply to these jobs. I'm like, yo, there's no way. There is no way. I have a degree, but then I have nothing else. But I do have a desire to learn. So, you know what? Maybe that's enough. I got this notebook. I haven't used it because it's for the start of the year. And like I said, the first through today, I've just been kind of taking it easy and kind of a trial run to see kind of what I actually want to prioritize this year. Or maybe even taking it through quarters. I did some cute little punch cards that maybe I'll show you pictures of. Jobs I want to apply for. Maybe this will be I need to date this so that when I look back at the end of the year through this journal, I can really be like, damn, Queen, you were in the trenches, weren't you? 1, 4, 26. 26 is crazy. That's so bad. This is a good one, okay. Oh. Nope, this closes tomorrow. So that's another thing too. With these, I really do want to work. I like working in cubicles. Maybe I don't, but I really like the office vibes. And I feel like I haven't really ever got that. So I want to holy ka-chow. Okay, I think I think I can do this. Okay, you know what? I should probably do this with links so that I can just go straight to this freaking job. This is teleworking. Not that I'm complaining. I also wouldn't mind teleworking, but I do like going into the office every once in a while. So, but that's okay. Like I said, I don't know if I said this here, but I know I kind of mentioned it last video where I was like, man, I'm definitely not going to make as much money, which definitely really sucks. But it's one of those things where, like, man, sometimes you got to give up something to make something else happen. So it is what it is. I wish you were here with me. That way we can chit chat back and forth, and then I can totally avoid doing this. You know, there was some really good jobs that I had looked at the end of the month in December, and my bum ass didn't apply for them. I really don't know what I expected. Kind of PMO, but you know, you can't change it, right? And then that's where the stoicism thing comes in, like, and yet here we are. What are you gonna do about it? Nothing. You can't. Move on and find another job. I moved up to the couch because my bum was hurting from sitting on the floor. But I've decided that I need to end this call with you because I cannot focus. I will never find a job if you keep talking to me. Farewell. Thank you for listening to me, and I'll update you on my employment journey next time I'm on here.